गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पत न शृण्वन्नोतिविश्वेदसादनम्। ॐ श्री महागणपते नमः। सरस्वत्यै नमो नित्यं भद्रकाल्यै नमो नमः। वेद वेदान्त वेदांग विद्यास्थानेभ्यैव च सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरम्। शंकरं लोकशंकरम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Yesterday we were seeing the structure of Brahma Sutra, and I'll carry forward that topic. Few more points are there, so it will be technical class before you can enter the Brahma Sutra itself. So you heard yesterday that there are 4 chapters in Brahma Sutra, and each chapter is divided into 4 padas or sections. So in total there are 16 padaha. Shodash padaha is there, and each section is divided into topics called adhikaran, and there are 191 adhikaran. There are some say 192 because one adhikaran sometimes is divided into 2. Now, but there is no uniformity in the number of adhikaran in the sections. Some have more and some have less. And all these topics which we will be studying are from the Upanishad only. So you heard yesterday that there were 4 topics discussed in 4 adhyaya respectively. I just like to touch more upon that before we enter into the main Brahma Sutra. So first chapter was called Samanvaya Adhyaya. Samanvaya Adhyaya. What is the meaning of Samanvaya? Samanvaya, if you translate, it means consistency. The closest translation of Samanvaya is consistency. So what is then? So in this first chapter, Bhagavan Vedavyasa, or we will call him Vyasacharya. Don't call Vyas. Okay. This is bad manners to talk as Shankar said, Vyas said. Either you say Bhagavan Vedavyasa or you call Vyasacharya. So, Bhagavan Vedavyasa says, is presenting a consistency as the proof to establish the central theme of Upanishad as Brahman. Again here, in this first chapter, Bhagavan Vedavyasa is presenting the consistency as the proof or hetu to establish that central theme of Upanishad is Brahman only. There is a consistency to prove that the central theme of Upanishad is Brahman, consistency of the same topic in all the Upanishads. It's not that one Upanishad is saying something, other Upanishad is saying something, Gita is saying something, Puran is saying something, Itihas is saying something. So mainly he will take the Upanishad sentences and he will say there is a consistency in that all have only one topic called Brahman. So he is saying consistency of Brahman in all the Upanishad is the proof that central topic of the Vedanta is Brahman only. This is the Samanvaya Adhyaya. Why we are saying like that? Because other schools of philosophies, especially the Purmimamsa or Nyaya or Sankhya sometimes, they don't agree with this. They say Vedanta deals with karma. So, to refute this topic that Vedanta does not deal merely with karma is not the central point of Vedanta, he is going to present a series of arguments or tark. He will pick up from various Upanishads and tell that all these Upanishads are pointing at the same thing called Brahman. And therefore, what is the fourth sutra? Tattu Samanvayat. Fourth sutra is, we have taken this sutra in detail, Tattu Samanvayat. We will again see it. So this is the Samanvaya Adhyaya. First is called Samanvaya Adhyaya. Then what is second chapter called? Avirodhadhyaya. Means what? Non-contradiction. Avirodha means non-contradiction. So he will prove in the second chapter, what he will prove? That Brahma Vidya does not have any contradiction. Brahma Vidya is not a self-contradicting thing. Self-contradiction. So there are three kinds of contradictions. These are not technical verses are there. First contradiction is called internal contradiction. Shrutyoho virodha. Virod between two Upanishads or two statements. Contradiction among the Shrutis itself. Paraspar virodha. Like same person is saying two different things and contradicting himself. Same person is saying something one time, other thing, and he is saying contradicting himself. That is called Paraspar Virodha. You see how much they are careful about what has to be, how systematic is their thought process, how compact is their thinking, How disciplined is their thinking. Saying something one day, saying another thing another day. So you feel what this person really means, I don't know. This is called technically as Akansha Aspashtata. You ask something, after listening to him, you don't understand what really he wants. This he wants or that he wants. So first is called Paraspar Virodha is not there. Second is, so मतलब कैसे बोलेंगे? श्रुतेः परस्परम परस्पर विरोधः नास्ति. There is no contradiction. Vedic statements don't contradict each other. Second kind of virodha or contradiction is called Shruti Smriti Virodha Nasti. There are a lot of Smriti. A lot of Smriti is there. Smriti like Bhagavad Gita, Manu Smriti, Yagyavalkya Smriti, Vasishti Smriti, and the Upanishads. So they are not contradicting each other. They are not contradicting each other. Those who don't study with a teacher and they just study by themselves, they find contradictions here and there. So somebody wrote a book, Contradictions in Gita. So that person has not, what people do sometimes, they study Gita one by one verse. Now, meaning of that verse, to tell meaning of the verse, you should know the whole Gita actually. Problem is this. Which reference that verse is being told, you should know whole Gita. So the person who has not known the whole Gita, if he starts studying verse by verse independently, he will get stuck up in certain verse. So he will say at one point, Bhagavan says, Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya. Other he says, Sardharman Parityajye. At one place, Bhagavan says it is better to die in one's respective duty. At other place, he says leave all dharma. What reference was one point said and which Karma Yoga Adhyaya was one point, another is in the conclusion. Which is the reference? Because he does not know what is the whole goal of Gita and he starts studying in a linear fashion. Therefore, he will get feeling that Bhagavan is contradicting himself. First thing, understand, if you don't understand something, please don't refute it. Because great acharyas have approved it. They are brilliant than us. First of all, if you don't understand something in Upanishad or Gita, supposing you have no teacher also to teach, so just have Shraddha that great saints were much more knowledgeable, brilliant, rather genius, tapasvi than me. Therefore, have faith and move ahead. So, Shruti Smriti Virodha is not there. Second contradiction is this. Third contradiction is called Shruti Yukti Virodha Nasti. There is no contradiction between the statement of the Shruti and logic. Don't say it is illogical. It is not illogical. You don't know the right logic. So there is a proper logic. It is tied by the various kinds of logic. Why you are putting on logic? Because Sankhya and Nyaya both are based on logic only. And both put their point in a logical form. So to tell that where is the fallacy in your logic, because they don't believe exactly, so here the Bhagavan Vedavyasa uses the method of logic for logicians to prove that. So he names it Avirodhadhyaya. And Avirodhadhyaya needs little more sharpness of your intellect because it is heavily based on logic. Heavily based on logic. Similarly, Bauddha is also very logic oriented darshan, more than Jain. More than Jain, there are three darshan which use logic tremendously: Bauddha, Nyaya, and Sankhya. Heavily logic, and Bauddha are worst because they don't believe in Vedas. So, to refute them, because they say, okay, let us leave the Vedas for some time. I will now come to your logic and tell you. To refute them, it was heavy logic is required. So, this chapter has, I think, maximum logic among all four chapters. Okay, this is the second chapter called Avirodhadhyaya. I'm just giving a brief outline. As you will know and as you will start studying, you will have more insight and more appreciation of what is this in Brahma Sutra, which I want. Third chapter is called Sadhana Adhyaya. Sadhana Adhyaya means what? Preparatory discipline required from Brahma Vidya. Preparatory discipline. So, there are Parampara Sadhan, Sakshat Sadhan. Parampara Sadhan is like Yoga is there, Sankhya is there. That is called Parampara Sadhan. Antaranga Sadhan, Bahiranga Sadhan. Therefore, I don't oppose any sadhana. If anybody's sadhana is jap, he should do his jap. I have already described these sadhanas like rituals, upasanas, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, chanting, parayana, or jap is there, puja is there, part is there, or what is it called? Tirth is there, Ganga Snan is there, Guru Bhakti is there, Seva is there. They are all called Parampara Sadhan may be there. So all sadhanas are dealt. So these are indirect sadhana. What is direct sadhana? Direct sadhana is Nididhyasan is there. That is the direct sadhana is there. You are meditating. You are trying to contemplate. So these kind of sadhanas are also described in Brahma Sutra. So everything has its own use, own sadhana. Rather, I always tell that in our Hindu Shastra, every action they have tried to use mantras, etc. Mantra before eating, mantra before bathing, mantra before putting clothes, mantra before touching the feet on the ground, mantra before sleeping, mantra after getting up. So everywhere they are trying to divinize something. Their attempt is divinizing all actions, not excluding any action. Of course, marriage, lot of mantras are there. So, vidhihinam, where vidhi is not him. So that is called tamsik yajna. So they are trying to put that religious aspect in everything. So this is called sadhana adhyaya. Next adhyaya is called phala adhyaya. Phala adhyaya. Phala adhyaya. This is smallest adhyaya. This is in this fruit of Brahma Vidya is given. So what is the fruit? Fruit is Jivan Mukti or Kram Mukti, gradual liberation or immediate liberation. That is the main topic. Some Gati is also mentioned, that we will see when it comes. Okay, so that is what is called the 4 points which are discussed here. 4 points which are discussed here. Even samskaras are also there. There are 16 Shodash samskaras are there. That is also not described in detail in Brahma Sutra, but I am saying they are also part of our sadhana. If a person has not gone through a samskar, it doesn't change his identity and take the right identity. Okay, so this is the topic in short. Now I am coming to the definition of 3 words which will be used very very frequently while you are reading Brahma Sutra. 3 words. What are the 3 words? Sutram, Bhashyam and Adhikaranam. Sutram, Bhashyam and Adhikaranam. So these are the 3 important words which will be taken. Sutra, you have heard Brahma Sutra, all of the students. We had 52, 56 classes and you have notes also in that. So, when I hope you remember that we had studied Brahma Sutra. Not remember? Forgot? At least you must be remembering. So Vrinda was there with Guruji. So he asked, where we taught Brahma Sutra? She was there in the Vibhuti. This is so where did you hear Brahma Sutra also? Yes, we had so many classes also. So she gave the detailed account about what is there. So Swami Amitanandji met me when you had Vedant course. In that Brahma Sutra also you taught. I said, yes, that is important. We have to know Brahma Sutra also. Even if you have not understood, at least you have a consolation, I heard. So you will not be thinking, I have never heard Brahma Sutra, it's something mysterious, some bigger thing. It's very difficult, I don't know. At least you have understood, not understood another topic, but at least I sat in the class, was not missing any class. I was just watching Swamiji if I don't understand, but I heard all these things. I was not Shrota, I was Drishta. So 3 definitions, definition of Sutra, 2 words are there. Bolo bhai, definition of Sutra. Tell the shlok. Alpaksharam asandigdam sarvat vishvato mukham astobam anavadyam cha sutram sutravido viduhu. Tomorrow I will hear this, each of you, and if you don't remember, 100 times you have to write in your busy schedule. I know everybody is very very busy, so this is the basic thing. Please repeat after me. Alpaksharam sandigdam Saravat Vishvato Mukham Astobhamanavadyam cha Sutram Sutravido Viduhu. So first is Alpaksharam. Dekho how much they have worked hard, how much they have thought about. ऐसा नहीं कि सूत्र is anything is called sutra. So first is called Alpaksharam. Alpaksharam is concise. Not that long sentences are there, one paragraph. That is not called sutra. 2 definitions are there. One is this one. So Alpaksharam, minimum word should be there. Minimum word. Very very precise, very very concise. Number 2, asandigdham. Asandigdham means what? Clear. Non-ambiguous. Non-ambiguous. There should be no ambiguity. There should be no 2 meanings in that. It should not be something which is which I don't have. Ambiguity is there. Unclear, non-clarity should not be there. that is called Sarvat. That is called Asandigdham. Third word is called Sarvat. It should deal with essential topic and not unnecessary aspects. Sarvat means what is the topic you have said, that only. Don't go on stories here and there. Don't tell unnecessary things. There should be discipline in what I am speaking and talking. Now don't go haywire here and there. And then you ask where I was, I forgot. You gave some example and you forgot what was the main topic. So that should not be there. Sarvat. Vishwato Mukham means Vishwato Mukham means facet, and Vishwa means all. So which has many facets, covering all possible meanings. What is the possibility of this meaning, and which meaning will be fine? From all angles, having many meanings, many facets. Vishwa means Sarva. So covering all aspects and covering all facets. It should not be something which is only one facet. All the aspects should be covered about that topic. About that topic, nothing should be left out. The next word is Astobham. Astobham means what? Astobham means what? Well, I forgot. Astobham has two meanings. One meaning of Astob means to praise. One meaning of Istob means to praise. Praise, glorification. Like her, Vai. They are called Stob. Stob means to praise, which should not have unnecessary praises here and there. Sutra is not meant for glorification of any devata, etc., any god, etc. So, Stob also means particles, like ha, vai, cha. They are called particles. So it should be devoid of certain particles. Particles are generally used to put certainty in it, on confirming that verily it happened. Vajashrava havai. So ha, vai, cha. Cha is used to complete the meter sometimes. Padpuranartham chakara. So meter is having 32 letters, so one is missing, two is missing. So the poet will write ha, cha, just to complete the meter. It is not a metric form. Sutra is not in a metric composition. So that is called chakar is not there, no unnecessary is there, and it should be very, what is it called, without any unnecessary things, or without too much of expansion of something. Like if you read Puranas, so Puranas are very expanded. Of Gajendra Moksha is there. So around one chapter has gone to describe how the forest was. The trees were all swinging here and there. These flowers were there. These birds were sitting on these trees. You read it. Hundreds of shlokas something are like in Puranas. Gajendra was like that. When he used to move, all other trees used to crushed sometimes. Small children were there. They were making such kind of noises. Birds were there. They were chirping like that. These fruits were there. It's very long and vivid description to catch a gross mind. They are not useless. But this student of Brahma Sutra is supposed to be very subtle. He doesn't need too much of description. He doesn't need mind-catching tactics of the Puranas. Enchanting tactics is not used by here. Astobham. This is the first meaning. Second meaning is abaditam, which cannot be negated. Stub means stambhane, to stop. Stambhane means to stop. So stub, to stop. It is abaditam, non-negatable. It is non-negatable. That is called abaditam. And while writing supposing somebody is writing the sutra, you know what he thinks? 5 days he thinks how I can take out some more letter from that sutra. Those who are writing, they give a thought how I can take away one more letter from that sutra. And supposing they are able to do that, so they say putrotsavam manyante. They feel as if son is born. So much joy is there. One who does not have son, after many years he has been blessed with the son. So astobham. So imagine how much vidyata is required to write on that. Then next is anavadyam cha. Anavadyam cha. Avadyam means sinful, defective, faulty. So that which does not have fault. Anavadyam means faultless or defect free. So there is no defect. There is no defect. Astobham anavadyam cha. Anavadyam means sinless, faultless. So there are two kinds of faults. They say there are two kinds of faults. What are those faults? One is called Shabda dosha, other is called Artha dosha. Two kinds of fault is Shabda dosha and Artha dosha. So what is Shabda dosha? So Shabda dosha is there is a grammatical error in talking. In potting something, there is a grammatical error. Like te gacchati. Te gacchati. Somebody has said like that. When te is there, plural should be there. Te gacchanti should be there. So somebody asks you, Bhavan kuta gacchati? There is something wrong. Something is wrong in this. Only I am not seeing any Sanskrit. Bhavan, something is wrong. Huh? Kuta. Kuta, from where? From where? Agacchati. From where you are coming? From where are you coming? Kuta agacchati. Kutra, where? No. Bhavan will go with Prathama. Bhavan will not take Gachasi. Bhavan will not take. I know you are struggling now. Unless you read every day, you won't know. So Bhavan, Kutra Gachati. Where are you going? Or from where are you coming? Kutra Kuta Agachati. So you said, Aham Kakshataha Agachati. I am coming from my room. What is mistake? Gachami. Now you said this is called grammatical mistake. Shabda dosh is there. How are you? I are fine. Like that. So this is first dosh. Second dosh is arthataha dosh. Arthataha means meaning, illogical meaning. He's talking illogical. Arthataha dosh, pramanataha dosh. Something is talking which is not pramanataha, which is not proved, which cannot be, which has never been proved by anybody. That is called arthataha dosh. Arthataha dosh, like Rahul Gandhi talks. In every rally where he goes, he just chants one thing: Chaukidar Chor. Chaukidar means Modi ji, then he is thief. Chaukidar Chor. Ab Supreme Court has said there has been no theft in any of the deals, defense deals as well, Rafale, etc. So he says Chaukidar and he makes others say Chor. So this goes on. No praman is there. Everybody has said there is no finding that you can say something is proved. No. Supreme Court said something, and now he said that Supreme Court also has said that Chaukidar Chor. Now there was a case against him just now. So it is called, what is the legal term? I forgot. Huh? No, where you say something wrong to Supreme Court. Huh? No, one word is there. Now Supreme Court, they went to Supreme Court that how can you say when he has not said something? So he was pulled up by Supreme Court that you cannot say something which I have not said. Like somebody, I have not said something and somebody says Swamiji said like that. Similarly, he also, the Supreme Court pulled him up. So this is called Arth Doshaha. Arth Doshaha. Pramanhin. Something is you are mentioning out of the hat. No head and tail. Some people talk like that. You should never talk like that. No head and tail. Wrong logics or no logic. Artha dosha is there. Sun rises in the west, like that. There are two faults. This is called anavadyam cha, which does not have this. Sutram sutra vido viduhu. This is the definition of the sutra. So tomorrow you should not be struggling with the definition of sutra. Then one very easy definition is Suchnat Sutra. Suchnat means clue, that which gives a clue. Clue. The thief went away, but by mistake his wallet had fallen down. So because of that wallet, now every case could be solved now. So that wallet has fallen down. So from that wallet, the clue was found about everything. Like this terrorist attack is there. So sometimes when the attack is there, so their mobile was intercepted while they were talking. So no clue was there where from that terrorist came. This is how 20 what is it called? 24/11. 26/11. 26/11. So that happened in Bombay blast. So what happened? They intercepted the mobile, and then they found that this mobile was from Pakistan. So they were sent by. This is called sutra. So from one clue you get the whole thing. That is called sutra. From one point, from one clue, you discover everything about that topic. That is called sutra or Suchnat Sutra. Okay. So Brahma Sutra, I already told yesterday the meaning. I am not going to repeat it. So Sarvasu Upanishatsu Brahma Eva Sutravat Kathyate. So Brahma is like Sutra. So Brahma Ev Sutraha iti Brahma Sutra. Tat Brahma Sutravat Yasmin Granthe api Varanyate iti Brahma Sutra. This is the meaning of Brahma Sutra. Already I explained you in detail yesterday. In the Bhashya, what Bhashyakar will write, I will show you. Vedanta Vakya Kusuma Grathanarthatvat. He says each Vedanta Vak is like Kusum. Kusum means flower. Vedanta Vakya Vakya Kusum Vedant Vakya Kusum Grathanarthatvat. It has been strung. The Vedant Vak has been strung. All the Vedant Vak are like the flowers. They are being strung. And therefore, this is called Sutra. Strung like a thread. In that Granth, therefore, it is called Brahma Sutra. So, this is called the Brahma Sutra, which we have seen now. I am going through all basics. Later on, you should not be confused about what is Brahma Sutra. If you are saying Brahma, I am studying Brahma Sutra. So, somebody says, okay, what is Brahma Sutra? Please tell what is Brahma Sutra. So, immediately your answer should be, how you will answer? That पहले तो you understand first of all that Brahma eva sarvasu upanishatsu sutravat Brahma varnate. Brahma is the common thread in all Upanishad. Tad Brahma yasmin grantah kathyate evam prakarena sa Brahma Sutra. Different ways. You should not be confused what is Brahma Sutra. It is not Brahmana Sutra, Brahma ka Sutra nahi. It is not Brahma ka Sutra. It is a Karndhare Samas. So this is about Sutra. Now, agar technical definition is Bhashyam. You write the definition of Bhashyam. I have not given that. So Bhashyam is defined technically. Good definition is there. Sutrartho वर्णते यत्र सूत्रार्थो वर्ण्यते यत्र सूत्रार्थो वर्ण्यते यत्र वाक्यैः सूत्रानुसारिभिः सूत्रार्थो वर्ण्यते यत्र वाक्यैः सूत्रानुसारिभिः सेकंड लाइन स्वपदानि च वर्ण्यन्ते स्वपदानि च वर्ण्यन्ते भाष्यं भाष्यविदो विदुः स्वपदानि च वर्ण्यन्ते भाष्यं भाष्यविदो विदुः. Again I will say सूत्रार्थो वर्ण्यते यत्र सूत्रार्थो वर्ण्यते यत्र वाक्यैः सूत्रानुसारिभिः स्वपदानि च वर्ण्यन्ते भाष्यं भाष्यविदो विदुः भाष्यं भाष्यविदो विदुः. So what is called bhashya? Anything is not called bhashya. You are writing notes, it won't be called bhashya. You can't say I've written a bhashya. So there is a technique. Sutrartho, where the meaning of a sutra is elaborated. And therefore, very condensed and very expansive bhashya is there. Number 1 point. So first is meaning of each word in the sutra. Then how the sutra is connected. It is called vakya, sentence. Sentence. The meaning of the sentence. How Sutranusaribi, in the same sequence as it was written in the sutra. Like Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So he will first explain Atha Brahma Jigyasa. Then he will connect all in the same sequence, and then not that he will tell Jigyasa first, Atha later on, Atha then. It's not like that. Vakyaihi Sutranusaribihi सूत्रार्थो यत्र वर्ण्यते वर्ण्यन वाक्यैहि सूत्रानुसारिभिः. Then in the process it is possible that the person who is writing a bhashya, he may introduce his own words. If he introduces his own words, so he should also explain swapadani cha varnyante. What words are used by a respective bhashyakar? He should also explain. He should not be thinking this word is known to the student. he should elaborate that as well. So swapadani cha varnyante sutram sutra vid. Bhashyam bhashya vido viduhu. Those who know what is bhashya, these three things constitute the bhashyam. Imagine there, those who are disciplined in writing, they are disciplined in thinking also. Discipline of thought expresses discipline in all areas. In writing, in eating, in walking, in talking. Discipline means the fixing of the time, space, work in a specific manner. You are doing a specific work in a specific time, in a specific manner to bring out some big effect. When you see, very indisciplined, waking is not fixed, eating is not fixed, talking is not fixed. He talks, he keeps on talking. He sleeps, he sleeps. He wakes, he is not able to sleep. He writes, he keeps on writing. He doesn't write. That you see, the indiscipline is there. So indiscipline should be avoided. So this is the definition of bhashyam. Now adhikaran is the third thing. I already told that in each adhikaran there are 5 things which are described. What are those 5 things? Purv Paksh, in Uttar Paksh, then Sangati. Same thing is mentioned in a shlok form. Vishayash samsyaschaiva, you write it. Vishayash samsyaschaiva. Vishayash samsyaschaiva. Purva pakshascha tatha uttaram. Vishayash samsyaschaiva. Purva pakshas tathottaram. Second line. Sangatascheti panchangam. Sangatascheti panchangam. Shastre adhikaranam smritam. Vishayash samshayaschaiva. Purva pakshascha tathottaram. Sangatischeti panchangam shastre adhikaranam smritam. A good student will try to by heart it. So 5 topics are there. Vishayas, what is the main subject? What is the doubt? What is the virod? Then Purv Paksh means other schools of views of non-Vedantic darshan. Then Siddhant Paksh is the Vedantic conclusion, why it is there. And Sangati, I told yesterday, there are 3 kinds of Sangati between Adhikaran and Adhikaran, chapter and Adhikaran. And there are 2 chapters also. So Sangatischaiva Panchangam. These are the 5 ang. Ang means parts of the adhikaran. So anything is not called adhikaran. So again you remember there were 191 topics were there. 191 topics has been discussed in Brahma Sutra. I am summarizing it. 191 topics were in 4 chapters. Each chapter has 4 padas. There are 16 quarters or sections also in this portion. And each adhikaran has these kind of division. And this is 4 chapters. Also we saw what kind of 4 chapters are there. One is Samanvayadhyaya Adhyaya, then Avirodhadhyaya is there, then third is Sadhanadhyaya and Phaladhyaya is there, and we also saw what is Sutra also. These are the just how the Brahma Sutra will be, what is the meaning of Brahma Sutra, how this whole thing is bound together as a text, how it is bound together as a text. So you should not be surprised when I will use such words. In this Adhikaran that was mentioned, this Adhikaran, this is the Purupaksh is there. So don't get surprised by such words if it has been used in our discussion. Already I am defining it. Or in this sutra, what is the asandigdha portion is this. This is what is the astobham is there. Everything has to be clear in that sutra. Now we will start the famous Adhyas Bhashya, entry into Shankaracharya's. Before coming to the first sutra, he does not come straight away on the first sutram. He comes to the Adhyas Bhashya, which is a very beautiful Bhashya, which we have already seen in detail about that. What is the Adhyas Bhashya? So let us see now. We have to go to Adhyas Bhashya. One or two points is there. Before that I go into it. I think new topic is there. I will take it in our next class. But one or two shlokas are there. Very beautiful shlokas which is chanted in the parampara about the Brahma Vidya. Please write those shlokas. It will help you. Ashubhani nirachaste. Ashubhani nirachaste. Tanoti shubhasantatim. Tanoti shubhasantatim. Smriti matrena yat pumsam. Second line. This is second line. Smriti matrena yat pumsam. Brahma mangalam param. Ashubhani nirachaste. Tanoti shubhasantatim. Smriti matrena yat pumsam. Brahma mangalam param. If I see some copies, I hope I won't be surprised. Some other shlok you have written in that. If I start seeing, definitely I will be surprised. Later on we'll see that. I think just check it. We can write it later on. Type it and then give it also. If somebody can show it later on. Ashubhani nirachaste. Tanoti shubhasante tasantatim. Smriti matrena yat pumsam. Brahma mangalam param. Second shlok. Ati kalyana rupatvat. Ati kalyana rupatvat. Nitya kalyana samshrayat. Ati kalyana rupatvat. Nitya kalyana samshrayat. Second line. Smartrunam varadatvacha. Smartrunam, double ru is there. Smartrunam वरदत्वाच्च ब्रह्म तन्मंगलम विदुः। ब्रह्म तन्मंगलम विदुः। ब्रह्म तन्मंगलम विदुः। अति कल्याण रूपत्वात् नित्य कल्याण संश्रयात् स्मर्तॄणां वरदत्वाच्च ब्रह्म तन्मंगलम विदुः। Very beautiful shlokas are there. Third shlok is, this is written by Bhagwan Bhashyakar in the beginning of Taittiriya Upanishad Bhashya. यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं, यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः, यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः। सेकंड लाइन, व्याख्याता सर्ववेदान्ताः, व्याख्याता सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोस्मि अहम्। यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याता सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् प्रणतोस्मि अहम्। तान् नित्यं प्रणतोस्म्यहम्। यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याता सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोस्म्यहम्। तो याद हो गया होगा, नो प्रॉब्लम। So these three shlokas are also chanted in the parampara before studying. Along with that, Narayana Padmabhavam is also chanted. I'll tell the meaning later on, time is over. And I already said that ओंकार अत शब्दश्च द्वौ एतौ ब्रह्मणा पुरा कंठम भित्वा विनिर्यातौ तस्मान मांगलिकौ उभौ. Already I had described that. If somebody can write on one paper and type everything, or we can just, so that it can be for ready reference when you are studying, we can chant it. We don't have too much of time, we will not chant here in 1 hour, but you can, in your writing table, you can write that. So how many shlokas are there? So first 10 Shanti mantras are there, that is the first. Then Narayan Padmabhavam is there, which we described yesterday. Then about Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharanam, that was there. Then if you remember, I had told Om Namo Brahmadibhya, that was there. And these 3 verses. Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti, that is also added in it. So Narayan Padmabhavam, Shankaram Shankaracharyam, then Om Namo Brahmadibhya, Brahma Sampradaya Kartribhya, then Vansh Rishibhya, then Ishvara Guru Ratmeti, then these 3 verses, and then Onkar At Shabdascha Udavayeto Brahmana Pura. This is chanted in parampara before starting Brahma Sutra. Every day they won't chant, but when they started Brahma Sutra, first day, then they chant this. It takes 3 years to complete Brahma Sutra when they study it every day. 2-3 years. But we will see. So tomorrow is our reservoir. So when we come back, we will start with our main Brahma Sutra teachings. Before starting Adhyas Bhas, one chapter I will take about what is the main thing and then we will come to Adhyas Bhashya. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.